Welcome to the Nightstand. Welcome to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction. Man, Maguire out of the Europa League final. That's the big news. Solskjaer saying he doesn't think he's going to be ready. Says we don't think we'll see him in Gdansk. We're going to go through that and what that means for our team. Obviously, looking ahead at the Wolves game, he spoke about transfers as well. Says he wants 2 to 3 players in. Says we're not where we want to be. Says that we need to be, we want to be challenging and go up one place in the league. He also spoke about the ins and outs, said that, a few of our loan players, people will be interested in them, but I won't expect too many outgoings as well. Spoke about Juan Mata, about his contract situation. Loads. Martial is out of the Wolves game as well, but Dan James is in. So much to get into today, with a little bit of transfer news as well, a little bit of update on Jadon Sancho too. But the big news, man, Harry Maguire's out of the Europa League final. And look, he still said we're going to give him time. He still said that we're going to give him extra, sessions to kind of do what he needs to do. He said that he's walking, but there's a big difference between walking and playing, which is true. But then he goes on to say that, I can't see him in Gdansk. These are quotes from what Solskjaer says. We're recovering with him and resting with him. He's not at the stage where he can work hard yet. He's walking on it now, but still it's a long way from walking to playing. And then he says, he's walking, but it's a long way from. Yeah, we've read that word already. And then he says, "I don't think we'll see him in Gdansk. No." So it's not looking good. I don't think we'll see him in Gdansk. No. And look, we've taken 1 point. We've taken 1 point from the 4 games that Harry Maguire's missed. 3 games. He got injured against Aston. So he missed Leicester, Liverpool. Right, so we've taken 1 point out of the 3 games. And look, the Leicester game, you can put that to the side and say we changed the whole team. It's not that deep. The Liverpool game was a real bad one. I was saying throughout that game that you can tell we missed Maguire. And I think the Fulham game, for many reasons, I don't think that was just down to Maguire. I think that was just a squad thing as well. But again, we are missing him. Look, it depends how you look at this. Some people are saying, oh my God, we're absolutely screwed. There's no way we can win the Europa League final without Harry Maguire. I disagree with that, but he is a massive miss. He's a massive miss. He is a leader in that squad. Whether we've questioned it or not, some people have, some people haven't. I did earlier on. I hold my hands up to that. And even before he was getting injured, which is so ironic, I don't know whether I jinxed it, but I kept saying, you know what? Harry Maguire deserves his flowers because he's been improving. He's been growing into the role. He's been becoming more of a leader. He's been doing his thing. If you deep it, he has been doing his thing. But now he's injured. And now we've got a taste of what it's like to be without Harry Maguire, which obviously we're not as good at the back without Harry Maguire. I think most people can agree on that. But I don't think that the final's over and out because one player's out. We're Man United Football Club, and I don't mean that arrogantly. But what I mean is that, yes, it will affect the back 4, but we still got good players. Yes, we're in bad form going into it. But Axel Tuanzebe is going to have to step up, or Eric Bailly, whoever it's going to be. I think it will be Bailly because I just feel that Solskjaer will go with the experience side of it. But I'd love it to be Axel. I think Axel's played quite well since he's come in. Obviously not as good on the ball as Harry Maguire, maybe not as dominant in the air as Harry Maguire. But in the tackle and his anticipation and his firefighting, I like to call it, when he's been put in difficult situations, in one-on-one situations as well, I think he's defended really well. So I would probably go with Tuanzebe, to be honest with you, over Bailly for this final. But either or, look, it is what it is, and we got to go with it. But it is going to be a big miss. But I don't think I'm not in the camp certainly of fucking hell, we can't win the Europa League final now because Harry Maguire's out. Like, I don't see it like that. I really don't. I know it will be more difficult. Of course, it will be more difficult, but it's not going to be impossible. And I think that's important for us to remember that. Shrinkamp says, hi Flex, if Harry is out of the final, then it's better we play a 5 at the back with Lindelof, Bailly and Shaw, with Wan-Bissaka and Telles as wing-backs, McTominay or Fred in midfield. What's your say on this, Flex? No, I disagree. I disagree. And look, I could be eating my humble pie, or this could be my famous last words, because I am very nervous about this game. You know me in the big games. I do get nervous. And I'm not saying I think we'll be all right. Villarreal are absolutely crap. But they're not that good. Like, we're not about to play Bayern Munich. We're not about to play Manchester City. Like, we're playing Villarreal, who are like 7th in the Spanish league. Now, I'm not saying because of that, that's why we're gonna win. But what I'm saying is there's got to be a certain level of, you know what, like we still got to trust in what we're doing. We still got to trust in our team, and we still got to trust in the good players that we have. And one player shouldn't, in my opinion, shouldn't make us have to change the whole formation. A formation that we haven't been playing pretty much all season. We done it early on in a couple of the bigger games, you know, against PSG. We did it against Leipzig, I think we did. I want to say, but we haven't used it all too much. That was almost like last year's thing. Back five, we beat PSG without Harry. Says Zaid. I hear that, but I just think the way that we're playing up front with the front three, the way Pogba on the left hand side seems to be working. Not all the time, but you know, in the balance of play, it has been. I want to see Mason Greenwood start on the right hand side. Maybe even put Pogba into the middle and get Rashford on the left, because I think our best players need to play, you know. He said that Martial won't be ready for the Wolves game as well. We'll talk about that, but he should be on the bench ready if we need him against Villarreal. But just back to the five at the back, I don't know. I mean, look, we'll have to wait and see, but my gut feeling isn't that, if I'm honest. My gut feeling isn't, oh my God, Harry Maguire's not there, change it to a back five. And then what? Go negative. Go against Real Madrid. Go against Villarreal to sit back and not concede. Like, we're better than them as a team. Like, go and our main thing, especially now Harry Maguire is injured, is our attack. Is scoring goals. Is unleashing Bruno, Pogba, Cavani, Greenwood. Do you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to take out one of those and put another defender. I just think it sends out the wrong message. I think it makes us too negative. I think it just gives off the wrong vibe, man. Like, I think that will be very defeatist from Ollie to change to a back five from that, in my opinion. I know. Look, what do you guys think in the comments? It's a fair comment, and there's going to be people who might agree with that super chat. Let me know in the comment, yes or no. Just put yes if you think we should go for a back five, or no if you think we shouldn't. I don't think we should. Nora says, I hope we could play with Bailly and Tuanzebe. So he wants to take Lindelof out. I would still start Lindelof, in my opinion. Simon says, do we need to start McFred now? They protect a slow back four. Could we bang Pogba in there now and go more aggressive? Start Rashford and Mason. That's what I'm on, Simon. That's what I'm on. Now, the way I see the team for the final, and we'll get back to the pressure. There's still loads to talk about. The way I see the team for the final is this. Technically, I want all the best players on the pitch. You know, I want to see a team that has Cavani, Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Rashford. And the only way that's going to happen is if Pogba goes into midfield. I agree. I think he can play there in this game. Rashford hasn't... Look, if Rashford gets dropped and we keep the same 4-2-3-1 and Paul Pogba starts on the left and Greenwood starts on the right, I'll have no problems with that. Because on the balance of play, Rashford hasn't been great. However, it is a European Cup final. Rashford is a clutch player. Like, Rashford... Marcus will play poorly or not well for 75 minutes, and then in the 85th minute, he'll pull out something. Do you know what I mean? So, or vice versa, he could pull out something early in the game and then fade. What I'm saying is that what we've seen out of Marcus in the last, for a long time, really, good few 3 or 4 months, maybe even 5 months, we've seen him be inconsistent in his performance level for the duration of the game. But he gives you moments, he gets goals, and that's why I wouldn't be against seeing them all start. I know people say, what do you need for your bench? You need more for your bench and stuff like that. But we have to go for these. Go for their throws. I think Villarreal will make it difficult for us. They might try and stink it out. So definitely don't go back five, and definitely go for it. Go for them. You know what I'm saying? Quinstar says, flex in our attack are on point. We don't need to worry about our defense. We need to attack and go hell for leather to win our last game and get it done. Yeah, that I kind of agree with that. Obviously, you got to throw a little bit of caution to the wind. You can't, you know what I'm saying, just go all out and play too open. But I don't think Villarreal are going to be that expansive. I think they're going to let us have the ball and say, come break us down. So if we're doing that, but in a back five, I would be worried. And I'm already worried about this game just because I'm just nervous about it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if you're just joining us, Harry Maguire has confirmed not Harry Maguire's confirmed. Solskjaer has confirmed that Harry Maguire will be out of Gdansk. He says he's walking, but it's a long way from walking to running. So to be honest, I don't think we'll see him in Gdansk. You want to go in with loads of energy, but also confidence. We'll make a few changes versus Wolves, freshen up a few and minutes into the legs of those who might need it. Yeah, looking more towards the Wolves game now. As I just said there, Solskjaer says we'll make a few changes versus Wolves and freshen up a few minutes in the legs of those who might need it. We're not, well, I'll get back to that bit in a bit. On that, now look, to me, this game is 3 days before the final. 3 days, that's not long. That's not long, right? And if you play someone in that game and they get injured a couple of days before the final, it's curtains. We've already lost Harry Maguire. We can't afford to lose anymore. So for the Wolves game, I'm going to be deadly honest with you. It depends what you think. I know some people are saying let the team is in bad form, so let them go again, mix and match and stuff. I ain't trying to see that. I'm actually trying to see almost the same team that was against Leicester. Maybe not Elanga, maybe not that, but I'm trying to see this. So I'm trying to see, we got second place wrapped up, guys. That's what you got to remember about this. We got second place wrapped up. Why are we trying to risk any player who's going to start? Don't get me wrong. Bring one or two who's going to start off the bench maybe for 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most. But I'm saying put the Rezzies out. Even if it is Elanga, actually, I don't care. Big up to him. Give him another game away at Wolves. I'm trying to see Williams right back. This is where it gets tight because Lindelof or Bailly or thing are going to have to play. Eric Bailly centre back with Axel, because that's the only centre backs we got. And I think that Lindelof definitely plays in the final. Left back, put Telles there. In goal, I'm putting Henderson in. That's another thing. David De Gea is starting this final for me. If he doesn't start this final, I think it'll be a disgrace. He has to start the final. So I'll play Henderson. Midfield 2, I'm going to go with Matic. And I'm going to go with... I don't really want McTominay and Fred in there. Actually, I will say McTominay or Fred because I want Pogba to play in the middle. So either or, I'm going to say, who would I want to start in it? Maybe Pogba and McTominay in the final I'd go for. Fred's been bad recently. Really bad. So yeah, I'll start Fred and Matic. On the left, Elanga. On the right, I would go with Ahmad. In the 10. Oh no, where's Donny? No, I'd go with Donny and Matic. I'll go with Donny and Matic. Matter in the 10. On the right, I'll go with Ahmad. And on the left, we ain't got enough players. I'll put Elanga again, or Dan James because he's back actually. And up front, if it's Solskjaer, I'll say just put whoever up front who isn't going to start the final. So if it's going to be Rashford, he's going to start playing him tomorrow. I'll play him on Sunday. And if it's going to be Mason who sits out, which I hope it's not, start him. That's what I'm trying to do. Hannibal, I would love to see him in there, but I think he is still injured. So that's what I need to see. Ahmad needs to start. Give out Elanga a game. Even put Matt at false 9 if you really want. I don't really care. I don't really care about the game, honestly. Martial's not going to be ready for the Wolves game as well. He still needs more time. So yeah, that's the team I'm trying to see. And look, because really it isn't really about confidence. Because if we win the game with a completely different team that isn't the same team that's going to start the final, then they don't really get confidence from it, really, do they? Yeah, apart from like coming in at halftime or coming in at the end of the game or on the coach on the way back, but they're like, oh, well done, at least we won. We can talk about a win. I don't really think it affects the players who are in the final. What's been affecting them is that performance against Liverpool and the performance against Fulham, where they haven't looked good. So yeah, I would go for that. I want to talk about Solskjaer on transfers as well, actually. Let me get those quotes up because I thought that was really interesting what he said. He said, third last season, second this season, some more points. We've done really well away from home. We know we had a difficult start to the season, lose 3 of the first 6 games, and loads of them were home games, which put pressure on us. We're not where we aim to be, but we've got ambitions to move up one place. And what he said on transfers is this. I'm just going to get that up. Where is it? Can't find it now. Basically, he said he wants 2 to 3 players. I can't find the exact quote, but I've written it down here. He says he's planning as normal. The transfer window. It's not like we get to the end of the season and work out what we need. It's a process that we've been working on, which is good to hear. That's fine, but we know that. I would expect that from Manchester United. And he says we're going to need. This is the interesting bit. He says we're going to need 2 or 3 players to challenge higher up the table. We're going to need 2 or 3 players, and that fits in with what we're saying. Like I always get a bit worried if, like, I know he can't say too much in the presses, right? And he's never going to say the real thing or what we really want to hear. But sometimes I get worried if it's way off, like our parameters are just completely not aligned with what he's saying in the presses. But a lot of us say, look, we need 2 to 3 players of real quality into the starting 11 to really kick on. Is a lot of what a lot of us say. And Ollie's basically saying that we need 2 to 3 players to kick on higher up the league. So they're working on that. And look, there was a lot of noise, some more noise about Sancho, which I'll talk about in a little while. But he's saying we need 2 to 3, which is good. Will we get the 2 to 3? Like Dyer says, 2 to 3 players equals right wing, centre back, and even a CDM. 100%. I agree. That is the 3 players that we need. Right wing, centre back, and a CDM. It was going to be a striker, but we kept Cavani, which is good. Devil says we need 4 to 5 players. Yeah, essentially, I agree, because you're looking at the squad depth. Do you ever want people like Fred having to come in and fill a void, or things like that? Donny, is he ever going to fit in? If not, then would you just sell him? I get that, but overall, yeah, we're going to need that. Paul Robinson says 2 to 3 players to compete the first team. For the squad, we need 5 to 6. Yeah, I can see that. Over time, you can look at that. But right now, like you said, for the actual first 11 in terms of getting past City or challenging for the league properly, we need those 2 to 3 players. And Solskjaer's talking about that. He says the outgoings. He says we've got loan players. We've got clubs interested in our players on loan, so some of those could leave. But he did say he wouldn't expect too many outgoings as well. So we'll have to see. But what he did say again, which is interesting, is that not interesting. It's just good that he's saying it. He's saying that we need to come out of the transfer window stronger. And that's where it's interesting, because he's saying all the right things. He's saying that we're not there yet. We need to get better. We need to invest. And basically, I'm going to be disappointed if we come out of the transfer window and I've pretty much got what I've got now. Yeah. So there you go. Season and progress. He was asked about how we're progressing and stuff like that, and he said, like I said, we're not where we want to be. We're steadily improving. And our away form has been great. So they will want to keep that away form going, to be fair. They will want to keep the away form going, which is important. But in the context of the final, it's not really that deep. If we lose against Wolves with the Rezzies, we lose against Wolves with the Rezzies. Like, I just care about this final. I'm so nervous about it. This is what Solskjaer said about the loans. We've had a few players on loan that might come back in. There is interest in a few others going out. You want to come out of the transfer window strengthened. It is difficult to say. I can't see too many outgoings. And he said, we're looking at the squad. I hope we're going to strengthen with 2 or 3 players. Here's the quotes. We definitely need to challenge higher up in the table. We're still too far behind to think it's just going to come by itself. If you needed validation or reassurance that he wants to improve, that is it right there. Now, look, you can say, oh, wow, of course he's going to say that, which is true. I get it. He should be saying that. So I don't want to give him flowers and respect and stuff like that for saying it. I'm just saying it's good to hear, though, because he's spot on. Like, we're not there yet. Like, you can't, from this season, if you're optimistic, you could look at it this season and say, oh, those draws, man. Those draws, imagine we just would have defended properly. Like, we would have turned them draws into wins. Like, oh, some of them losses, man, like, they were silly losses. It was only because we didn't have the pre-season at the beginning of the season, and we were struggling. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people saying that. People saying the volume. I don't know. I think the volume's all right. Yeah. So him saying that, like I say, if you're optimistic, you're going to say that. But if you look at it a bit differently, I'm not going to say if you're pessimistic, but if you look at it on on a deeper level than that, you will say, no, it's not going to get fixed by itself. We need to up it. You know what I'm saying? We need to up it. In my opinion. So, in you lot's opinion, in all of our opinions, you know what I'm saying? And now in Ollie's opinion. So we got to do that. We got to buy 2 to 3 players, and like you said, it ain't going to get fixed by itself. We're not just going to be able to claw back these points on Man City by just doing better with what we have. We're getting the maximum. We're getting the maximum out of what we've got. Fact. We've got the maximum out of Fred and McTominay. We've got the maximum out of Lindelof and Maguire sort of situation. We haven't got the maximum out of the right wing because, you know, Mason Greenwood's playing there and he's going to grow, but we can improve in that area. And we haven't got the maximum out of Marcus Rashford yet as well. He's still got gears to go up, and Martial too. So yeah, that's where we got to look at there as well. What was interesting as well is they asked him, does he think he's doing better? Like, how does he judge himself? And look, that's what you got to do. He said, look, it's not for me to judge. He says, I'm learning from the wins and losses. I'll basically leave it to everyone else to judge. But what I will say is, though, if he loses this Europa League final, it does taint the progress. If we finish second without a trophy, but we finished third without a trophy last year, but we're actually in a final, and we all know about what happened with all the semi-finals that we bottled, I think it won't show as much progress as we think. Look, there's some people who are still out. There's some people still say, so like Europa League, so what? Like what? Man United Europa League now? Is that what we should be doing? Is that where we should be? Like we should, and look how far we are off first with City. So some people are looking at it like that. Like even if Ollie does win this, that he's still not good enough. I see it as it's a good stepping stone. I see it as good progress. And the real judgment, especially should he get backed, especially if he gets backed, which I hope to God he does, but the real judgment after having the 2 full seasons is next year. Because Ollie's put that pressure on himself in a good way. He wants that pressure because it shows year-on-year progression. But let's say, all right, cool. First full season, finished third with no trophy, but got to semi-finals or whatever, bottled them. Second season, you got second, more points than the year before, good. Was top in January and bottled it, all right, cool, but we weren't in our development. We're saying we weren't even expecting to be there. So squad's not quite right. And then you get a trophy. That's year-on-year improvement. Do you know what I'm saying? And then next year now, you've got to be challenging for the Premier League. You simply have to. Stephen says, we've done well this season. We've improved. Winning the Europa League is what we need. Next season, we must challenge for the Premier League and challenge for the semi-finals of the Champions League. Absolutely. That's literally what I was just saying there, Stephen. I 100% agree with you. And SM2J Gaming says, I'll see you in Gdansk, Flex. We'll buy you a drink. Love that. Are you going to be there? Shout me. Flex UTD on Instagram. Get at me. And yeah, man, we'll have a drink. But yeah, on what Stephen was saying there about the progress, that's what I'm saying. Next year is where we're really going to judge it because, one, he needs the players. But if he gets those players, if he gets a right winger, a CDM, and a centre-back, and hopefully they're of the quality that we want as Man United fans, you have to say he's been backed. And then he has to deliver on that. Do you know what I mean? He has to deliver on that, which is massively important if we're to say that we're trying to return back to the top. He also said the older you get, the more experience you've got, and you're probably a better leader for it. I'll take it all in my stride, and I'll let everyone else judge how well or badly we do. Updates on Martial, Dan James, Fred and McTominay. He said Fred and McTominay and Dan James are okay for the Wolves game, so that helps. I would give Dan James a start against Wolves. To be honest, if I can't start him, then I'd definitely bring him off the bench. He ain't going to start in the final. I definitely can't see that. And Fred and McTominay are all right as well, because that is good news, though, to be fair, because I know Fred's been dropping some stinkers recently, and just McFred in general, we all know about that. But we are going to need them for the final. We're going to need at least one of them if Pogba plays in the central midfield, which I don't know if Ollie will change it, or both, which I do think Ollie will go with. That's another thing, to go into the final. I know I told you what I would like to happen, but I really don't think Ollie will change it. I think what someone's getting dropped out of Rashford and Greenwood, and my gut feeling is that it's going to be Greenwood, because I can't see Ollie being bold enough to say, well, look at what Mason's doing right now and look at what Marcus is doing right now. Right now on current form, Mason is probably the best player to play on the right-hand side. I can't see that. And he's not going to drop Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba has to play in this final. He has to play in this final. So there's two things. I can't see him dropping Rashford and I can't see him dropping Pogba. So that means Greenwood's got to go. But the reason why Greenwood's got to go is because the second thing I can't see Ollie doing, or the third thing I can't see him doing, is putting Paul Pogba in central midfield. I think he goes with McTominay and Fred. That is his foundation. It is a big game. And he won't want to upset that apple cart. I don't think he'll want to move away from it or experiment with it in a final. I just dropped water down there. I just missed my whole mouth. How's that happen? And you lot probably didn't even see it, but you got to talk about things like that. How's that happen? Just drop down the side of my mouth. But yeah, he's not going to make those changes, in my opinion. I can't see it. I think Greenwood deserves to start this final, and I think the fact that he did start against Fulham is a good thing. I think that's a good thing, because that team that started against Fulham, obviously Harry Maguire's not going to make it, so you're then looking at Bailly, or Tuanzebe. That team is the team. That is the team. Do you know what I mean? McTominay and Fred, obviously. Pogba on the left. Greenwood on the right. Cavani up front. Bruno is Bruno. So that's going to happen. I think that's the team. And obviously we'll get a better idea of what he does against Wolves. If he does a bit more mix and match than we think, I think it will show some signs of what he's thinking in the Europa League final. But I don't want to, me personally, I don't want to see anyone playing who is going to be starting in that final anywhere near the pitch on Sunday, or whatever day it is. It's Saturday. Whenever we play Wolves, I think it's Sunday. Nowhere near. Or was it Saturday? I don't know, but whenever it is. I don't want to see them anywhere near the pitch. I get players need to come off after trying to play 90 minutes, or, you know, someone might need to come on for 10 minutes or something like that. That's all right. But no one should be starting that game. There should be no Bruno, no Shaw, no Wan-Bissaka. Oh, you can see it. That's funny. Sorry, I've got the video like a little bit back. I've only just seen it back where the water just dripped down. How embarrassing. No Lindelof, because he has to start the final. Tuanzebe or Bailly, whichever's not going to start the final, you need to start them against thingy. What's their faces? Wolves. But saying that, because we've only got 3 fit centre halves, one of them's got to play twice. It shouldn't be Lindelof because he's got a dodgy back, and Bailly can't really play twice in that short amount of time, can he? But someone has to. So maybe it'll be Axel because he's a bit more durable. That is going to be interesting. Or maybe he does a madness and puts, like, I don't know, Matic at centre half or something with the player who's not going to start the final. Imagine he did that. Imagine he put Matic and say Tuanzebe because he knows he needs Lindelof and Bailly for the final. You know, someone said play Jones. I can't see that happening. But yeah, back to it. I don't want to see Cavani. Don't want to see Pogba. Don't want to see Bruno. Simple as that. It really is. Donny's got to play. Even if, like I said, even if we have to play a false 9, I would take it. Even if he wants to play a back 5 in this game because we ain't got enough forwards. No, but how would he do that? That'll be Tellez left wing back, Brandon Williams right wing back, and then you need 3 centre halves, which we definitely don't have that. So yeah, no, maybe we can't do that. But yeah, that's what we've got to do. Ian Smith says, big up, appreciate you and all you do, Flex. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you watching as well. And there was another super chat I missed, I feel like there was. No, we've read that one already. And Ian Smith says, you're the man, Flex. Keep it up. I will, man. Appreciate that. There was another thing I wanted to touch on as well, which is also looking at transfer news. Now, Sancho still remains a priority. And what Laurie Whitwell was saying was that Manchester United are still firmly in for Jadon Sancho. He still wants to come. And I don't think it's going away. Obviously, the Kane situation and the interview that Harry Kane done with what's his face, Gary Neville was very insightful. But I can't see how we get Harry Kane. I honestly can't. Laurie Whitwell also says that Declan Rice is Man United's primary target for holding midfielder position. And then on Jadon Sancho, he says Jadon Sancho remains of serious interest to United, and multiple sources believe that a move to United is highly realistic. The price is now 80 million, down from 110 million. Some even believe 70 million could be enough, depending on the payment structure. So if we just stay on Sancho for now, Dortmund are willing to sell the player more than ever than they have done before. Yeah, they've set their deadline. Don't get me wrong; they want it done before the Euros and whatnot. But what we do know is that we can offer less money, 110 million down to 80 odd million, which could even be down to 70 depending on the payment. You know, here's 75 million, and whatever add-ons you want to do down the lane, that can work. Ali says, I think Varane can be the best centre-back in the league if he comes World Cup winner, 4 times Champions League winner as well. Top draw player, 100%, I agree. I think, and look, you never know how it really is going to go. I think Varane could be a Diaz-type signing. Now, I'm not saying we can afford to just sign Varane and we can win the league, but the impact he can have on the rest of that back four, I believe, could be maybe just underneath Diaz's impact and just underneath Van Dijk, but certainly in that same ilk, because he's a proper centre-half, bro. Like, he's proper. He's not no little man centre-half who ain't got no experience, who ain't been there and done it. This guy has been there and done it. He's powerful. He's strong in the tackle. He's quick. He's decent in the air. He's good on the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? He's big man player. Big man player. And he's a winner, like Nora said there in the free seats. 100%, he's a winner. I want that type of player in my team, especially in the spine of it. I want a born winner. Man's won World Cup, 4 Champions League, however many La Liga titles, however many Copa del Reys. Big man. Do you know what I mean? So I'm definitely here for the Varane talk. But back to the Sancho thing. Look, do we need Jadon Sancho? Like I said it in the show I done before when Sancho was still the priority. I just don't know what it fixes. I think it adds, but I don't know what it fixes. So if you sign him, it doesn't fix obviously centre mid. It doesn't fix centre back. Would it fix the type of football we play? I think it would help the quality that we have in that area and give us a different dynamic. 100% goals and assists he can give you. You know, goal contributions he can give you. Occupying the left back, Sancho can give you. He'd definitely give us a new dimension on that right-hand side. And then you sort of say, right, Greenwood, you're going to be... Because Greenwood, I think, then will go to a bit more of a utility man. Because Ahmad's looking to come through. Maybe Ahmad will go on loan. We don't know. He looks very slight as well, very little. Maybe he will go... I think if Sancho comes, I think Ahmad might go on loan. But Greenwood would get used in between striker and right wing. You know, or maybe Oli might go, right, now you can go and be a striker because Sancho's going to be the main right winger. There's no need for you to play here unless Sancho gets tired or I need to rotate. Do you know what I mean? So Rohan says Sancho fixes the right wing. Yeah, do you know what he does? He does fix the right wing because really he is better than Greenwood there right now. He's at a different development of it. But Greenwood is getting better there. That's why I was like, does he really fix it or does he just improve on it further? Because right now on the right wing, I don't think it's that bad. Do you know what I mean? But I do take your point. Like, Sancho is an out-and-out right winger. Like, that's his position. He can play on the left, don't get me wrong. He can play in a 10 if he had to. But right wing / left wing is his proper position, especially right wing. So, yeah, I suppose it does give us that right wing kind of thing sorted. But Mason is doing all right there. He is improving. Aditya says, hey Flex, how do you think Maguire being out will affect us in the final? Would you go with Nzabi or Baye for the final? Yeah, you must have just missed it, or if you're just joining, Aditya, welcome to the show. What I said at the top of the show was, I do think it will affect us. It's already affected us that Harry Maguire's been out of the squad. But I don't think we should be thrown in the towel saying we can't beat 7th place or whatever they are in the Liga without one player. Like, shame on us. Shame on us if we can't beat Villarreal just because Harry Maguire's not there. Don't get me wrong. We might be a bit more shaky in defence. We might even concede. you know. But we can concede when Maguire's there. Look at the types of goals we always concede when Maguire's there. It's not like let's not do the thing that like we've been invincible with Maguire there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we never concede with Maguire there. That's not what this is. So, you know, shame on us if our whole team capitulates just because Harry Maguire's not there. Don't get me wrong. You look at what Bruno does. Yes, if he's not there, you're thinking, fucking hell, where's it gonna come from? That type of, you know, creativity. If Pogba's not there, we know what happens. If Cavani's not there, we know what it looks like up front. So look, I'm not saying that Harry Maguire isn't a calming influence, but what I'm saying is that I don't think that we're going to lose because he's not there. If we lose, it'll be because we don't switch on or we didn't deserve to win the game. Do you know what I'm saying? Usually. David says, big up Flex. Do you think Matic should start the final to free up Pogba? I don't want to see McFred start. It would be too defensive. Yeah, I would. Look, to be honest, if Pogba's in there, the only issue with Matic starting is it depends on what type of game it is. We can look at different types of games or different types of team sheets, yeah, and say that will work. I've done it with Pogba in the middle before. We've done it with Pogba on the left. But then the way the pattern of the game goes or the way the other team attacks the game can make you think, right, I need to change it tactically. So you look at Liverpool and the Burnley game. Let's look at the Burnley game when we beat them. What was it, 3-1 or whatever it was? Pogba started on the left, but their right back was getting a lot of joy and the right winger was getting a lot of joy and whipping in crosses. And we were saying we need to get Cavani on the pitch and we need to get Pogba into midfield because in this type of game, actually, he can dictate it from there. You look at the Liverpool game, he was on the left-hand side as well. Wasn't quite working. We looked better when Greenwood was on the right and then Rashford was on the left and then Pogba went to midfield. Do you know what I mean? So it does depend on the game, in my opinion. So I was saying I would put Pogba there with McTominay or Fred because I think we're going to need energy in there. But who's to say that because they're sitting off us so much, Villarreal, that Matic can't be the guy to just keep it composed and Pogba. Do you know what I'm saying? So I agree. It could be either or, but I just don't think Ollie's going to move from what he knows, which is McTominay and Fred in the big games. Roger Benjamin says, Ahmad looked better against Premier League opponents than Sancho has in any game against the same. I don't think we can compare Ahmad and Sancho. Sancho's on a way different level. You know, he's way more experienced. He's put up big numbers consistently. Does it in the Champions League. Like Sancho's on a different level, in my opinion, Roger. And obviously, yeah, the Premier League appearance. I mean, did Sancho even get any Premier League appearances at City? Probably only a couple. I don't think we can judge him in the Premier League. We haven't seen him play, but what we do know is that he's a top player and he does it well for England too. He performs. So yeah, Nuno leaving Wolves. Oh really? Is that breaking news? Is it? Let's have a look. Not that it matters right now, but you know, it's nice to know what's going on. Is that true? People saying that Nuno is leaving after 4 seasons. Yes, he is leaving. Okay, that's a big change for them. That, I tell you what, that makes it even harder tomorrow. That makes it even harder. He's had a good run though, man. Nuno. I respect him. I really do. I think what he's done at Wolves has been absolutely fantastic. And yeah, they've dropped off this year. They had their injuries. They've not been able to do what they normally do, but they've still finished mid-table. What are they, 12th? If Crystal Palace win, then they could go, but Crystal Palace ain't winning. They've got Liverpool last game of the season with 10,000 fans in Anfield. So Liverpool going to get Champions League. Who else can go above them? 3, 4, 5. Maybe Southampton could on goal difference. So yeah, well, they're going to finish roughly mid-table, even if we are just below that. But Nuno, I think he's been really good, man. You look at the players. Look how many players, right, at Wolves that have come through where we're like, oh, I'd have him. Why couldn't we find him? Where did he find him? What's going on? Nuno to Spurs, everyone's saying. Wow, that'd be interesting as well. Would he make a good Spurs manager, Nuno? Yeah, I think he would actually. I think he would. Give him a bit more money. I think that could be good. But what a job he's done. What a job he's done. I mean, like I say, going back to the players. Yeah, a lot of people saying he's gonna go. He's gonna go to Spurs, which, you know, Spurs will be getting a good manager. For Spurs, I think that'll be all right. I think that works. But them players he's been brought in. I mean, look, who's he brought through? Neves, even bringing over João Moutinho to here. Look how good he's been. what's his face? I forgot all of them. Neto, Jota, Dents, all really, really good players. Obviously, Jimenez. There was a point where I would have taken Jimenez when we really needed a striker. I would have taken Jimenez. I think he's a top striker. I hope he makes a full recovery, obviously after his skull injury. But yeah, but Neto is brilliant. I would take Neto. People saying they'll take Traore. A load of people. Semedo as well. Yeah, right back. He's decent. Patricio in goal, 100%. How many players has he brought through? He's basically made a Portuguese FC over there, but his recruitment is spot on. His recruitment is spot on. So yeah, big up to Nuno. Interesting that he's out, that he's going to be leaving. But that makes they're going to play their. Actually, I don't think we'll beat Wolves. We haven't beat Wolves with our strongest team. At all. Since we've been since they've come back to the Premier League. We haven't beat them at home. Away, sorry, at their place at Molineux. We haven't won. Hate going there. Hostile atmosphere. And we don't seem to ever get the job done. And I think now these players are they're playing their last game for Nuno. They're gonna be right at it. And I don't think we'll actually beat Wolves now. I didn't think, thought it was a slim chance before. But with the changes we're gonna make, coupled with the fact that it's his last game, almost doesn't really give us a chance. To be honest. Lampard to Wolves or Lampard to Crystal Palace. A lot of changes going on, man. A lot of changes. I think it's a draw against Wolves, says Advitia. I agree. Flexi, you going to Gdansk for the final? Yes, I am. We're flying out on Tuesday, me and Josh. So we'll be bringing you a lot of the stuff going on there. Poland's in lockdown. If anyone's in the comments who's from Poland or you live there, drop it in there. But I do believe Poland is actually in lockdown. So it's not like there's going to be like fan places to go and places open to go and drink loads and sing. I don't know how it's going to work. Do we all have to stay in our hotels because Poland's on lockdown? Are they doing what we're doing here, which is like things are open but not to full capacity? I don't know. In fact, I need to do some more research. Jack Massey says Santo is leaving Wolves. Yeah, we just discussed that. Jack, so big up yourself as well. So roll on Wolves, man. That's your Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference taken care of. To summarise, Maguire is out of the Europa League final. In as many words, Ole said he doesn't expect him to be there. No. He basically says also we want 2 to 3 transfers to strengthen for next year. He spoke about Mata. He said he's talking to him. They're having good dialogue and they'll sort out at the end of the season. Mata will leave. Ins and outs, we've got loan players. Club's interested in taking some of our players on loan, so we'll have to look at that at the end of the season. And he also said that Martial is not ready for Wolves, but Dan James, Fred and McTominay are. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Mark will be back on later on tonight, 8 o'clock show. Make sure you check that out as well. And I will see you all again. When will I see you guys next? I don't know. Maybe Sunday. I'm not sure. If not, then I'll see you when I'm in Poland. And we'll bring you road trips. We'll bring you the vlog, and let you know what's going on. And hopefully there's and we're buzzing. Hopefully we win. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, what do you mean? I'm an idiot. I will see you when we play Wolves in the fan forum for the fan cams. I'm just skipping stuff. That's when I will see you. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Peace.